Southern Legislative Conference SLC webinar entitled Pathways to Prosperity, Southern State Efforts to Prepare a 21st Century Workforce. I am Sujit Kanagaratna, Fiscal Policy Manager for the Southern Legislative Conference, the Southern Office of the Council of State Governments here in Atlanta. I want to thank our distinguished panelists for setting aside time from their very busy schedules to be here with us today and for providing us with the latest information on workforce development trends in Alabama, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Before we delve into the webinar, I'd like to take care of a few housekeeping items. You all are in listen-only mode. If you wish to ask a question, please use the question box on your GoToWebinar toolbar. You may type in a question at any time during the webinar, and we will get to them at the end. We will be recording this webinar and posting it on the CSG Knowledge Center website, knowledgecenter.csg.org, and the SLC website, slcatlanta.org. States across the country continue to focus on expanding the collaboration between education and economic development in an effort to better harmonize the creation of a highly skilled and competitive workforce. Policymakers are increasingly convinced that cooperation between the education and economic development sectors in state government, combined with active input from the corporate sector, remain critical factors in recruiting and retaining industry, particularly in the manufacturing arena. Experts document that maintaining an ongoing dialogue among the education, economic development, and corporate sectors remain crucial for the economic competitiveness of states. Several SLC states have been in the forefront in fostering greater collaboration between the technical college system, economic development officials, and corporate sectors. This collaboration has led to impressive results as states continue to customize training programs at technical colleges to ensure that corporations can rely on a well-trained workforce equipped to meet the challenges of the 21st century manufacturing environment. The workforce development strategies in the SLC states, based on collaboration among all levels of government, federal, state, and local, corporations, technical colleges, institutes of higher learning, remain one of the most compelling reasons for companies to locate, relocate, or expand their operations in the southern region. We are honored to have with us this afternoon an eminent panel of experts to address some of these measures being advanced in 3 SLC states to create a competent workforce to help ensure the competitiveness of American manufacturers in the global economy. Our first presenter is Representative Mac Buttram, who was elected to the Alabama House of Representatives in 2010. Representative Buttram has made promoting workforce development in his state one of his signature issues, and in 2014 was successful in securing bipartisan support for the passage of the Alabama Future Workforce Initiative, an effort to expand the state's career tech dual enrollment program. Alabama, through its Alabama Industrial Development Training, AIDT, established in 1971, has worked proactively on improving the quality of job training provided in the state's manufacturing sector, and Representative Buttram's initiative will further boost these efforts. Our second presenter is Jason Bates, Administration Manager for Toyota's Bodine Aluminum located in Jackson, Tennessee. This facility supplies aluminum die-cast engine parts for Toyota's entire North American powertrain production process. He believes strongly that technology is the future of manufacturing in the United States and is working with education and industry officials in Madison County, Tennessee to encourage high school graduates to consider manufacturing as a viable and rewarding career choice. Our final speakers in a joint presentation are from Spartanburg Community College in Spartanburg, South Carolina, an institution widely recognized for its innovative approaches to career-based education with more than 100 certificate and associate degree programs leading to employment opportunities and/or university transfers. Jennifer Little is the Director of Career Services and administers the Technical Scholars Program at Spartanburg Community College, while Jay Coffer is the Chair of the Department of Advanced Manufacturing at the college. Students participating in the Technical Scholars Program attend classes full-time at the college in an eligible degree program, while working part-time with a sponsor company that may also provide tuition assistance for the student. Some of the major corporations that the college has programs with include BMW and Michelin. Each presentation this afternoon will last for about 15 minutes. Please feel free to submit your questions as they come up throughout the program, and we will try to answer as many as we have time at the end. Representative Buttram, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to sharing some of the things that we're doing in Alabama to continue to develop our workforce. You can advance the slide, please. There's some information about the successes we've had in Alabama, and you see across the bottom some of the industries that we have recruited over the last few years. Some that are not listed there are Honda plant, assembly plant, a Kia assembly plant in West Point, Georgia, and across the line in Mississippi, a Toyota assembly plant. The Toyota in Alabama is an engine plant in Huntsville. Also in the district that I represent here in Coleman, Alabama, which is sort of in central Alabama, we have some Tier 1 suppliers for Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, and Honda, and they are, in fact, Rahal is one of those industries, and they are opening in Coleman their first research and development institution outside of the country of Germany. So we have had a lot of success in our area over the last few years, just in Coleman, associated with automotive industries and many of the other things that you see there. Change slides, please. The workforce development efforts that Governor Riley started and Governor Bentley is continuing to lead us in have made a great difference in Alabama. We have, Governor Bentley got together a group of people and created what was called Accelerate Alabama, the strategic plan for economic development in Alabama. And this identified some of the major problems that we had in our career tech centers in our secondary schools, and then post-secondary, some of the things that were in our community colleges. One of the things that we found out in that, and too often, the education portion of our state was pretty much saying, we're going to educate you students, and here they are, and you all put them to work. And as most of us, I think, have found over the last few years especially, the industry wants a place at the table. So they're the #1 consumer of the products of our school system. So unless they're part of the discussion to say what they need and the kind of expertise they need in the jobs they have, we're not doing what we need to do, not only for our students, but especially for the industry that we're trying to attract and maintain and retain. Change slides, please. Right at the end of the 2012 session of our legislature, a good friend of mine who was on the State Board of Education came to me and talked about the needs in career tech. He was a career tech director in Alabama and became a member of the State Board of Education, and was responsible for making the State Board of Education and then schools across Alabama more aware of the needs for career tech advancement in Alabama. So he's proposed we need about a $30 million bond issue to upgrade equipment. And we started on that, but it's just the last 4 or 5 days of the session. Of course, there was not time to do it. So over the ensuing year before the next session, I spent a lot of time talking to educators, to career tech center people, to industry, and found out that what industry is saying is we're not getting the kind of students that we need with expertise that they need to move into the kind of jobs that we have available. One of the biggest problems that we had was outdated equipment in our career tech centers. So the first step for us was to have a way to upgrade the equipment in the career tech centers. So we developed the 21st Century Workforce Act, which issued up $50 million in bonds to upgrade the equipment. And change the slides, please. You can see there how that $50 million was distributed. And the most important part of this maybe have been that the third bullet point there, the $20 million that the grant committee gave out. Because what that actually meant was that these career tech centers who saw the need in their areas to begin new programs that were not in existence for them right now that industry needed, they could collaborate with industry. Industry says, here's something we need. For instance, in my district, we had some of these companies that I talked about who needed industrial maintenance people. We didn't have an industrial maintenance in our Career Tech Center. So our Career Tech Center wrote a grant request for money to begin a industrial maintenance program that we are going to be implementing in the fall this year. And we were able to collaborate with the community college in our county also. So those are coming together to meet a need that we had out there. But education really didn't know that need till we gave them the opportunity for these grants. You can get a grant, go out and find something that's needed in your area, and that's what they've done. So the $20 million grants that we have come up with have made a great difference. In fact, the district that I'm in had over $600,000 in grants for different things, to upgrade equipment and to begin this workforce of the industrial maintenance program at our Career Tech Center. Next slide, please. After we passed the 21st Century Workforce Act in 2013, we began to work on other ways to expand the career tech opportunities in our high schools and community colleges. One of the things that we realized was that high school students, many of them would have the opportunity to have certification in certain areas by the time they graduate from high school. We know that many times in the traditional dual enrollment programs that high schools participate in community colleges, students will receive their high school diploma and a community college diploma at the same time because of dual enrollment. While that has been happening to some degree in Alabama community colleges, the dual enrollment, it was not as widespread as we would like for it to be. So we passed the Alabama Future Workforce Initiative, which creates a $10 million scholarship program for students to participate in the Career Tech dual enrollment program. As you can see, this is open to 10th, 11th, and 12th grade high school students. They have to have a GPA overall of 3 or 2.5 in the particular technical program that they're already in. Again, what we found was that business wanted a place at the table. So we made it an opportunity for them to donate to the scholarship fund. They can receive an income tax credit up to 50% of their total contribution, which is capped at $500,000. But they can also collaborate with a community college in their area, and 80% of their contribution can be directed for a specific Career Tech dual enrollment program at that 2-year institution. So again, opening up, industry, what do you need? What can we help you with? Where can we take the resources that you have and produce the kind of people that you need in your industry? Again, when we find that when we go to industry and say this, what would you like for us to do? They're more than willing to talk about it and even give their money, because it's money they can spend on the front end rather than having to retrain these folks after they hire them. So they're getting better prepared. We'll be able to get better prepared employees that are coming out of our high schools and community colleges. Again, this ensures that that employee can get can help fund what they need the specific training for. Next slide, please. we found that there were 31,000 students who were eligible to participate, and only about 2,100 students were doing that. Now, this does not give the opportunity for all 31,000 students, but it will provide another around 9,500 additional students for dual enrollment opportunities. When we can advance that number, grow that number, then these folks are much more likely to become productive citizens at an earlier age. A great benefit of this, of course, is lowers high school dropout rate. We know that high school dropouts have more tendency to end up in prison, on welfare, teenage pregnancies, all those things, all the social things that come with a lack of high school education are helped by this also. We're looking for ways to better educate our children, but also in the long run can help in our social spending for the things that are going on there. Next slide, please. One of the things, and just before I conclude, when we presented this bill, press conference to present this bill, we had a young man who talked about what he was already doing in dual enrollment in a community college close by. He was in a aeronautical maintenance program at the community college, and he was a senior in high school in a dual enrollment program. His mother didn't want him to do that because she saw it as sort of a dead-end job, but he was so excited about the opportunity to do that, he enrolled in this aeronautical maintenance program. He was able to land a co-op job with a company in Huntsville. So when he finishes his high school dual enrollment and gets certified in that, he will have a job. Now, the company that he will go to work for, if he chooses to do that, will also fund a scholarship for him to get his 2-year or 4-year degree if he chooses to do that. And even if he decided that he wanted to be an aeronautical engineer, he could get a master's degree. So often when we think that career tech or the dual enrollment career tech is sort of a dead-end street and it's just going to be a blue-collar job, it opens up so many opportunities for young people to, if they choose a route to get more an advanced education, they can certainly do that. You can see there that with what we've done in not only budgetary, but what we've done in the tax, the bond issue in 2013, the tax credit bill in 2014, we've committed more than $65 million to fund career tech and workforce development advances in the state of Alabama. We know that workforce development is the key. This is something that we need to do, get done, and if we can do this, we know that we can have an effective workforce, not only for the new industry that we'll be attracting, but as you all know, industry worries about the baby boomers who are retiring now at a great rate. Who's going to replace them? So to have this workforce available and ready to go to work is one of the most important things we do. The thing I stress most of all when I talk to people about workforce development is, for the first time in many, many years, and maybe the first time ever, industry has a place at the table. The education system is not saying, here they are, put them to work. Education system's going to industry and saying, what do you need us to do to help you have the workforce trained that you need? And it's a great marriage, if you will, that is going to make a difference in the way we do business in Alabama. I appreciate the opportunity and look forward to any questions later on.
Excellent. Thank you, Representative Buttram, for those insightful remarks. Jason, you have the floor now.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to share with you some of the experiences that Toyota is doing not only in the state of Tennessee, but in other states that our company is located in. Next slide, please. Just for a brief understanding, across the country, Toyota is well represented in many different states, particularly in the southeast, not only in Tennessee, but in Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, and Missouri. Next slide. Our local facility is relatively new. We were established in 2003. We are small compared to the larger assembly plants in North America, but that's largely driven because of the technology that we have here. We have 310 team members, and unique to our facility is that half or 50% of our workforce are what we consider skilled team members, which requires advanced training and certification either from a technical college or from a community college. It's a $268 million investment, and we produce over 200 million parts for Toyota's North American powertrain production. We supply, next slide please, we supply 4-cylinder, V6, V8, and automatic transmission case parts for all of Toyota's North American production except for the Toyota Tacoma. So our product is in every vehicle that is produced in North America except for the Tacoma, and that will actually change next year when a new engine comes in place for that vehicle. So it's a very important part of our overall company's strategy and success. Next slide. Not only is Toyota in North America, but across the state, Toyota has a large impact in the state of Tennessee. With over $2.8 billion with Toyota suppliers, over 54,000 jobs dedicated to the Toyota business, and of upwards of 50 suppliers within the state that are supplying our company throughout North America. Next slide. And as you can see, those are some of the thank you. But not only is manufacturing important for Toyota in Tennessee, but in Tennessee, manufacturing is extremely important. 2012, total manufacturing output was almost $41.5 billion. That's almost 15% share of the gross state product. And there's over 6,300 manufacturing establishments in the state, employing upwards of 319,000 individuals in manufacturing. Manufacturing is extremely important in the state of Tennessee, along with the other states in the southeast United States. Next slide. The problem that we're facing is that, according to the NAM, there are over 700,000 unfilled skilled positions in the United States. And it was the #1 unfilled job opening during the Great Recession. Skilled technicians are very, very difficult to find. I meet with my colleagues at other manufacturing sites in our community every month. A month does not go by that we do not talk about the need for backfilling and open skilled positions. The difficulty that we are facing is not only is there a pipeline gap, but that gap continues to get larger as the current skilled technician pool gets closer to retirement. And if we don't do something soon, that gap will continue to grow and will be at very, very strong disadvantage for manufacturing in the United States. Next slide. Not only is there a problem of the pipeline, but the quality of the individuals within that pipeline are very poor as well. They're insufficiently skilled. Just to give you an example, only 5% of the applicants that we test or who come into our work or apply to a position in our facility, only 5% are qualified for hire. Many of them are single skilled. Our need is multi-skilled. They also have many basic education deficiencies. For example, 35% of 12th graders are proficient in reading. That's got to change because the need is great for highly skilled and capable individuals with the opportunity for promotions and leadership coming from those pools as well. Next slide. One of the biggest difficulties that we face is that most community colleges and trade schools do not provide fully prepared graduates. Many times, those schools are focusing on just completing courses and allowing students to get that degree. They're not focusing on other skills that are necessary for successful workplace success. For example, attendance, Safety culture is extremely important. Understanding workplace organization and knowledge and skills, lean manufacturing concepts, and problem-solving capabilities are not being taught currently at a level that's necessary in the community colleges or tech. Next slide. In addition to that, there is a huge perception that manufacturing is not a desirable career option. This little cartoon kind of gives you an idea of what many people think. It's drudgery, it's very controlling, it's hard work. Many times people have a perception that it's dirty, it's dark. It's not somewhere that we want to be working. But that's a false perception. Help people change their mind about manufacturing in the United States. Slide. Next slide. Fortunately, in the state of Tennessee in the last few years, there's been a great desire to improve education skills in our state. All areas of the state, talking with industry leaders about what was needed. And I had the opportunity with other of my colleagues in Madison County to meet with the governor and to share with him our desires for greater improvement in the skilled trades and focusing on education in the skilled trades. Since then, there's been a great emphasis on improving the state of Tennessee's assistance to education of these important skills. For example, the Drive to 55 is an initiative in the state of Tennessee to encourage all adult Tennesseans to receive a college degree or a 2-year certification by the year 2025. The goal is to have 55% of the workforce having those skills. Another program that has been recently enacted in the state is the Labor Education Alignment Program, or LEAP bill, LEAP Act, that was enacted back in 2013. The purpose of that bill is, first of all, to align graduates with what industry needs. And of course, not all areas of the state are exactly the same. Industry is different, but it's important to...
But I think that's a perfect strategy, don't you?
Can somebody mute their phone? Excuse me, I'm sorry, but can somebody mute their phone? It's very distracting.
Similarly related, there's a story in... Oh, no, it wasn't.
There's a lot
the LEAP bill aligns graduates with industry needs. It allows students to receive occupational training that counts towards college credit. And a great thing that's very important is that students who are receiving compensation type of co-op program, they're not money for that compensation from receiving any type of state educational aid. So that's been very beneficial, or that will be very beneficial for young students who are graduating from high school, going on to community college, technical school, to be able to also get co-op rate paid.
Particularly it's not against the law to do so, right? And that's what they'll say. She was asking them to...
Also, the most recent bill that was passed by the Governor Haslam was the Tennessee Promise. And the Tennessee Promise, it states that beginning of fall 2025, or 2015, it will provide all Tennessee high school students last dollar scholarships to attend community college or a Tennessee College of Applied Technology. This basically means that high school students will be able to get their first 2 years of education paid for by going to a community college or technical school. And what we're showing is that most of the jobs that are out there don't require a 4-year university degree. In fact, research shows that for every master's degree that is required in work, only 3 bachelor's degrees are required, and of those 3 bachelor's degrees, 7 technical degrees are required for work. So there's clearly a greater need for technical education than there are for 4-year bachelor's degrees or post-baccalaureate education. So we have to help people understand that this is a great opportunity for them, and the skills can be provided to them at no cost. In addition to that, there have been $10 million in state funds allocated to invest in new equipment and programs that will help fill equipment and other grants at the local community college and TCAT schools. Next slide, please. Education partnering is also very important. I remember in January of 2013 when our local community college came and sat down with myself and a general manager of our facility and asked how they were doing. And we had to be very frank with them and let them know that the students that they were providing just were not meeting the skills and the expectations that we had for a team member. They were very open to that feedback. I have to give them a lot of credit for that. And they took our suggestions and went away and came back with some wonderful ways and new ideas of how they could teach and provide training for their schools. So since then, we've been able to focus and work with them and become a true partner with them to help develop this program that I'm going to share with you. We also, as educators or as industry leaders, have to recognize that the workforce is like any other input into our manufacturing environment. If we consistently or constantly receive bad quality from a supplier, a widget comes in bad, we would then assist that supplier in improving their quality issues. We have to recognize that schools are no different. Why would we not work with our school, who is supplying us a very important input, and help them improve their skilled workforce input? And that's a recognition that education has accepted, and industry is also accepting that responsibility and role as well. Next slide. Industry must also work together to help solve the problem. No longer can we recognize that we're just here to look out for ourselves. We need to recognize that there's a need to increase the overall workforce pie and not just our own piece. For example, we can't steal from one another any longer. And all that does is we steal from one plant, they come to work at our facility, they get a penny more and go to another plant, and etc. And all we do is continue to not increase the pool and increase manufacturing and labor costs from people going from facility to facility. We also have to recognize that industry needs to participate in marketing manufacturing to schools, teachers, students, and parents. We need to participate in school tours, classroom presentations, and other ways to get out there that manufacturing is exciting and it's a great career opportunity for children or for young adults. We also have to look for more ways to partner in other areas of workforce development. Right now in Madison County, we're focusing on what we consider equipment maintenance or facilities or manufacturing technicians, but tool and die skills, machinist skills, those are also other areas that we need to focus and work and partner together with as well. Next slide. So in Jackson, Madison County, we've created a consortium with Jackson State Community College to develop what's called Advanced Manufacturing Technician Program. These are the companies in Jackson, Madison County who have agreed to participate in this program starting this fall with Jackson State. And as you can see, these are very large multinational global corporations that are willing to participate in this program. Next slide. The solution is we have to redesign the community college program. No longer can we be satisfied that just providing a degree is essential. We have to also incorporate what we consider manufacturing core exercise in safety, workplace organization, lean manufacturing, problem solving, and maintenance reliability. We also have to emphasize the personal importance of personal behaviors of attendance, communication, teamwork, diligence, initiative, and interpersonal skills. And that by the end of a 5-semester track, these students will graduate not only with a degree, but also have the workplace skills that are necessary to be successful in the 21st century. Next slide. We have to also totally redesign the learning environment, make the place of learning look and feel like the place of work. This picture is an example of Toyota's operation in Kentucky with Bluegrass Community College. You may want to make the area look like a factory. Design it to simulate what it's like to work in the workplace, and also have the same expectations that you would have at the school that you also have at the workplace. Recently, Jackson State Community College was awarded a $440,000 governor grant to assist in the redesign of their workforce simulator in Jackson. And that classroom or that training center will come in line in August of this year. Next slide. You also have to make every development minute count. The program that we have introduced with Jackson State allows students to go to school for 8 hours a day, 2 days a week, and then to co-op at a local manufacturing site 3 days a week. And during that time, they are learning and at school, participating in their training environment, and then also applying what they've learned in the workforce. So they are going to school and working 40 hours plus and getting paid while they're doing that. They're going to school and doing this for 5 semesters. The other great thing to remember is that we have to let these students know that this is the time to grow up. There's no longer that long summer break that they can go off and play. They're going to be working hard each and every summer, earning money and learning and able to provide for themselves a future education and potential job. Next slide. And the final product is that next generation skilled team member. A team member who is totally multi-skilled in electrical, fluid power, mechanics, and basic fabrication. They will also have strong math capabilities, strong reading capabilities, will be fast technical learners, the ability to use all new forms of digital media. They will come out with strong problem-solving skills and effective verbal and written communicators, and also the capability to be an effective interpersonal individual, working with the team, and also have that potential to become leaders in the next levels as they grow and learn in the workplace. Next slide. In addition to that, changing how we're teaching and training students, we also have to work hard to change the perception and value of manufacturing. The National Association of Manufacturing has a wonderful program, Dream It, Do It, which the Tennessee Chamber of Commerce is going to be implementing here in October of 2014 to allow students, parents, teachers, and counselors to recognize that manufacturing is important and that it allows students to be creative, it provides you challenges, and it will also provide a valuable and rewarding career that not only is exciting but also pays very well. Next slide. Move ahead, please. The benefits of these types of programs, of course, are high quality, good paying jobs. In manufacturing, the average compensation is around $65,000. That's a $26,000 premium over the other jobs within the state of Tennessee. And for example, at my plant, our top 5 wage earners in our skilled ranks back in 2012 went from $78,000 to $99,000. And I can tell you in West Tennessee, that type of money is very, very good wage and can provide a very, very high level of standard of living for the individuals who've earned that. Now, those team members, of course, work very hard and provided a lot of skill and a lot of overtime to our company, but they did it in an environment that was exciting and an environment that challenged them. Continue on. It's a highly valued skill. What we've also determined is that these individuals, because they have this skill, they have this degree, and they have the work experience, have a high level of employment security. I have not yet met a skilled technician who is not able to find work very quickly. What we are talking about here is rather than relying on somebody else to provide employment security for them, they provide their own employment security. They can go throughout the whole United States and find a job with their education, with their skill and experience that they have once they get that capability. The other wonderful thing is for a community with an increased pool of educated citizens, not only does it improve the overall economic viability of a community, but it improves the overall quality of life as well. Representative Bertram also mentioned that by doing these things, a lot of the social problems that we have in our society can be diminished as people become more capable, have a better standard of living. The issues that happen because of poverty go away, and our community improves as well. Next slide. So in Jackson-Madison County, there's a few things that we've done to help us succeed in this initiative. We've created a partnership between local industry and our community college to improve the curriculum and training for skilled technicians. Continue. We've created a consortium with industry working together to provide co-op experiences for Jackson State Community College students. And I can't stress enough of how all these companies have come together. That is critical. Industry has got to work together to solve this problem because it cannot be done by itself. State government has done a wonderful job in providing legislation and grant monies to make this all financially possible. Next, continue. And state and local marketing initiatives are beginning to promote the value of manufacturing as a career. But what we're still lacking is local education leaders at the middle school and high school to help supply the pipeline with engaged, energetic, and qualified students. We have to continue to focus on getting these types of education and these skills down into the high school and the middle school level. Next slide. One way to do that is to create future education partnering. And some programs that can do that are these, some of these programs that Toyota has success with in other states, Project Lead the Way and FIRST Robotics. The current high school community or CTE programs are not providing the students with the academic credentials and the rigor necessary for the new technology in the 21st century. We then have to drill down in the pipeline to push more STEM education in the middle and high school levels. Once we can get that pipeline full, we'll be able to have a great skilled workforce, not only for our company, but for the companies throughout Tennessee and throughout the southeast United States. Any questions?
Thank you, Jason, for your excellent presentation. Jennifer and Jay, you have the floor.
All right. Well, first of all, I'll take off. My name is Jay Kofer. I'm a department chair for advanced manufacturing in Spartanburg, South Carolina at Spartanburg Community College. The program or the opportunity that we're going to discuss in the next few minutes is a relationship with our BMW sponsorship, or BMW manufacturing. But I would like to start out with kind of echoing some of the comments that the two previous speakers have made, in that you're going to hear the term partnership, curriculum review. All of those are I think, extremely necessary in all of our areas. But the Technical Scholars Program was actually evolved as a relationship in 1982, and I could take next slide, please. It was a relationship that was developed back in the early 80s with some of the local industries. It came to attrition really by some of the comments that were made even back in the 80s when technical fundamentals were not being taught, and industry came to our college at that point in time and said, hey, we want to build that relationship. We want to help you help ourselves in filling a void. So at that point in time, some of the outlines, and it's listed there, that if a student is enrolled in an associate's degree program, he or she can become a part-time employee with a local industry. At that point in time, typically they're a full-time student. We're 20 hours a week in the classroom and 20 hours a week on the shop grounds or on the shop floor. And again, one of our major contributions, or one of our major contributors, was the Michelin Tire Corporation, who is still a huge supporter of our college. We also have started a relationship 3 years ago, and BMW came on board with the Tech Scholars, the BMW Scholars, which has been extremely successful. We have a great relationship with both of those companies and many more. Next slide, please. It is not just related to the automotive or tire manufacturing industry. You see some examples there where CIRCOR, the Schaeffler Group, WSPA, which is actually our local CBS television station, Sealed Air, and this list is continuing to grow really on a monthly basis based on the needs of manufacturing in the state of South Carolina. Next slide.
Okay. And I'm Jennifer Little, the Director of Career Services, and I administer the Technical Scholar Program. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the student requirements, things that the companies require and the school requires on the student end. Each company has specific qualifications in addition to the general qualifications. And as they recruit those students, the student must be 18 years of age, have completed high school or a GED, and that comes into play when the employer is hiring a student who is just going into an associate's degree program and just finishing up high school. That they are enrolled full-time in an associate degree program. Some companies select students from multiple programs. Other companies want students from specific associate degree programs, and that they have and maintain a 2.5 GPA or higher. Some companies choose students only if they have a 2.8 or a 3.0 GPA. Next slide, please. The hiring process is that we often go out and meet with employers who are interested in technical scholar programs, want to develop their own. We speak with them about what their requirements would be and how we can market that need out to the students. Once they've decided that they do want to hire one or more scholars, we promote those opportunities through the Career Center here at Spartanburg Community College to our existing students. If they're interested in hiring students as they're coming into a program, then we market it directly to the high school career centers and the centers that partner with us in some of our dual enrollment classes. We also have a lot of companies who promote their own program. BMW is a great example of that. They go out to the high schools and come on campus for our events and promote their scholar program to high school and our current students. Our recruiters with SCC also promote these services as they're recruiting students to come to Spartanburg Community College as a great opportunity for students. The Career Services Office does verify the eligibility of the students as they're coming through, that they're in the correct program the company is looking for, and that they have that GPA that the company is looking for, and then pass those students on to the companies. BMW students apply directly through the Scholar program through their website, and Michelin comes on campus and does a pretest for the interested students, and we coordinate that with them, and then they continue on with those students that pass those pre-tests with interviews. Once the student is hired by the company, then the student completes their degrees, and most companies have been offering full-time positions to students when they graduate. So they hire these students with the intention that they're going to keep them on through their entire degree as loyal part-time workers, and then transfer them right into a seamless transition as a full-time employee. Next slide, please. The benefits to the students are that they get real-world skills and experiences. They get to apply that classroom instruction and what they're learning into real-world situations. They get to work part-time and they earn between $10 and $12 an hour on that company floor. They also receive tuition assistance on top of whatever scholarships or financial aid they're receiving. The company commits to paying tuition. And they're also considered for full-time employment, so that's a great benefit to them. And as our student has commented there at the bottom, they get experience that otherwise it would take years to grasp and years to attain. Next slide, please.
And I'll talk briefly on the benefits of the sponsoring company. The obvious answer there is that the learning curve for that individual when he or she graduates is a lot sharper, or a lot smaller, I should say, before the company gets a return on their investment. Typically, our programs are 21-month associate degrees in different disciplines, but the opportunity for that individual to be on that shop floor, it's 6 months into its education. Therefore, the policies, the standard procedure that takes place at that industry is very well known at the completion of the graduation. Of course, cost-effective in the recruitment, the training, everything as far as the potential for careers. It's really far above. It also gives that student, or gives the company, an opportunity to come in and screen and get the motivated students who are ready to go into the workforce and are really focused, on their goals at the end. They can see the light at the end of the tunnel, is a way of describing it. Of course, the evaluation of the candidates for permanent employee. As Ms. Little said, upon completion of this program, the company is not obligated to offer a full-time position, but it gives that company an opportunity to see how he or she works in that environment and whether or not it's something that they're willing to make the dedication to. The other thing, it allows the company, and I think this was something that Mr. Bates mentioned, it gives the company an opportunity kind of influence the educational process. One of the great benefits that I feel we have is that we constantly review our curriculum, and we constantly depend on individuals in the industry to make sure that we are up to date in what we are teaching and constantly changing, and as the flow of industry needs go. Next slide, please. And of course, that leads me right into what I just said: the increase in community support in our education, making sure. Again, I think Representative Buttram made the comment. That partnership, that working relationship, and also it helps the college out as far as graduation and placement. One of the goals or mission statements of our technical colleges throughout the state of South Carolina is to increase or to promote economic development, and that again is tied to, we're trying to give you that good customer service and give you a good product. So again, our direction in industry and what's needed there, and future demands. Of course, manufacturing, I hear it through all of these comments. Manufacturing has really done a resurgence, especially in the southeastern part of the United States, and programs such as these and the other ones that were mentioned are vital to ensure that we meet those needs. Next slide, please. Just as an example, the BMW Scholars program came on 3 years ago, and we have really we've really been very proud with our relationship with them throughout the years, and we're proud with the relationship with the Scholars program. But I would also like to commend 2 other technical colleges throughout the state of South Carolina. BMW is such a huge employer that our institution alone, it would be very hard for us to think that we could fill their needs. So we actually created a partnership with Greenville Technical College and Tri-County Technical College, which are all located in the upstate of South Carolina, and we all supply BMW with those scholars. BMW has guaranteed 35 slots over the next 5 years. So the opportunities that are there for scholar success is very nice. Next slide, please. Lessons learned along the way. Again, it's that partnership that we're constantly being reviewed. We're constantly being critiqued, if you would, to make sure that what's there is being, or what the needs that are there are being met. And we're very excited, with the establishing of that lasting partnership. And one other thing is, I heard the comment earlier, we're Tier 1 and Tier 2 suppliers. That's an enormous void to fill as well whenever you have that major industry. So we're constantly, Ms. Little and myself, we're constantly out promoting scholarships through other industries as well, and it's growing. So we're very excited about where we are and where we're headed as well. So with that being said, I think we'll finish up and open for questions.
Excellent. Thank you, Jennifer and Jay, for that astute presentation. So we do have a couple of questions here, and I think we'll start off with this one for Representative Buttram. I know the AIDT works closely with the state's technical college system and corporations to customize training centers at various manufacturing facilities across Alabama, advancing Alabama's growing profile in the aeronautics sector, with Airbus's first North American manufacturing facility scheduled to open soon in Mobile. The state recently opened the Alabama Aviation Training Center to train workers for employment at Airbus. Can you please briefly take us through how the state goes about customizing these training centers for workers to be employed at Airbus or the shipbuilder Austal or Mercedes?
I will give what information I have. I have not worked a lot one-on-one with AIDT, but am aware that they are constantly looking for opportunities, and then economic development agencies throughout the state are communicating to them needs that they have. So when those come together, as they have with Airbus and some other things, we've just started a new center in Birmingham, not just because of a particular industry in Birmingham, but it's going to be a statewide center to further their cooperation and their input in places. So it's pretty much economic development, AIDT working together to identify the needs that there are. We also have the Alabama Technology Network that is a arm of the community college system that does some individual training on a smaller scale than AIDT does.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, sir. We now have a question for Jason. Jason, how do you anticipate the Tennessee Promise Scholarship Act, the 2014 Tennessee law that created the first program in the nation to completely cover the cost of tuition and fees for high school graduates entering a community or technical college, impacting the quality of workers applying for positions at your facility?
Yes, we do. I think as more people recognize this and recognize the value of a 2-year or technical education, it's going to only improve or increase the number of candidates that we'll have to select from. Of course, it also depends on what the programs that these students go into. But if they're going into the technical skilled programs, I think it's going to only help us moving forward. So we're excited about the bill or the law, and we hope that many of students, particularly in our area, will take advantage of it.
Excellent. Thank you. Finally, there's a question for Jennifer and or Jay. What percentage of the students that graduate from the Technical Scholars Program have manufacturing sector jobs lined up? And also related to that, what percentage of students secure financial aid, financial assistance from the companies they work at while in the Technical Scholars Program?
Well, to answer the second part first, all companies that participate in the Technical Scholars Program commit to pay the student between $10 and $12 an hour while they're employed as a scholar, and also give them tuition assistance that ranges between $1,500 and $1,900 a semester on top of any financial aid or scholarships that they receive. If financial aid and scholarships cover the full of their tuition, then the company doesn't contribute, but they cover the remaining amount.
And could you repeat the first question, please?
Yes, so that was what, in terms of the students that graduate from the Technical Scholars Program, how many of them have manufacturing sector jobs lined up upon graduation? The percentage, I guess, that's what they're asking about.
I would say it's an extremely high percentage. We have two groups of scholars at our campus. We have a Health Scholars Program, which deals in a totally separate area, but the technical scholars from our standpoint are all driven towards manufacturing curriculum, whether it's mechatronics, automated manufacturing, robotics, automotive, welding, all of those skills fall under the manufacturing curriculum in our area. One other thing I'd like to add to that, most of the companies are also extremely flexible with our students and working around their academic schedule. We have individuals that work on Saturdays because of their class schedules. So I mean, that's another huge advantage in partnership with our industry.
And one other thing I'd like to mention is that I don't have exact numbers from the other companies, but I know that BMW has offered 100% of their scholars full-time positions after graduation.
Excellent. Very impressive. I think we're kind of running out of time now, so we'll wrap up this webinar, but please forward any additional questions you may have to me, and I will work on trying to get a response from the presenters. Thank you once again to our speakers for participating in this CSG SLC webinar, and also to my CSG colleague Carrie Abner for all her help with the technical aspects of the webinar. Finally, thank you to all of you for spending an hour of your afternoon with us, and I hope you found this webinar useful and informative. If If there's anything more that CSG or SLC can do for you in your work, please don't hesitate to contact us. Have a great afternoon.